Picture this. It's June of 2024. All across the US Federal Reserve, screens just start to flicker. Then, 33 terabytes, a mind-boggling amount, of America's most sensitive banking secrets are just gone. And in their place, a single, arrogant message. This right here, this is the calling card of Lockbit, the world's deadliest ransomware group. You see, it's not just some threat, it's a statement. It's a flex of absolute dominance from its shadowy leader. Because that's the crazy part. Behind this massive, global cybercrime syndicate, we're talking over 2,000 victims. Huge names like Boeing, major hospitals, even the FBI itself. It all comes down to one man. And the police? They know exactly who he is, but they can't lay a finger on him. So the real question is, how on earth does he do it? Well, let's meet him. This is Dmitry Korosov, or as he's known online, Lockbitsep. Now, I want you to get the image of some hacker in a dark basement out of your head. This guy is a visionary, the founder and CEO of a criminal empire who figured out a way to industrialize hacking. The core of his genius was this idea right here. Instead of running with some small, traditional gang, Dmitry decided to become the godfather to a whole army of freelancers. He didn't build a crew, he built a franchise. And that one single idea? It completely changed the face of cybercrime forever. The model he created is called ransomware as a service, or RAS for short. Think of it like this. Dmitry and his core team, they develop the sophisticated malware and all the infrastructure, basically the brand. Then, other criminals, who he calls affiliates, they do the dirty work of actually breaking into targets and launching the attack. And this just shows you how brilliantly simple he made it for everyone. An affiliate logs into the secret Lockbit website, generates a totally custom ransomware payload with basically point-and-click ease, and then just unleashes it. If a company pays up, 80% of that ransom goes to the affiliate, and a very tidy 20% flows right back to Dmitry. It's crime as a service, and it's brutally efficient and incredibly profitable. By 2023, the results were just staggering. Lockbit was responsible for nearly 40% of all ransomware attacks on the entire planet. We're talking over 2,000 victims, from tiny businesses to corporate giants like Accenture, spread across 120 countries, and they'd squeezed out more than $100 million in payments. His empire was at its absolute peak. But you know what happens when an empire gets too big? Dmitry got comfortable, he got sloppy, and he made a mistake. Actually, he made 3 of them. And these weren't some complex coding errors or the result of some brilliant counterhack. No, they were simple human errors that would threaten to bring the whole thing crashing down. And the first one? It's almost comical how ordinary it was. One Tuesday morning, he did something billions of us do. He ordered a pizza, an act so mundane, so trivial, yet it would become a critical breadcrumb for investigators. So why in the world would ordering lunch matter to the FBI? Well, you're about to find out. This brings us to a pivotal day, February 19th, 2024. This was the day law enforcement around the world decided they'd finally had enough. Deep inside a fortified command center in London, a global team was ready to launch something called Operation Kronos, the biggest takedown of a ransomware group ever attempted. At exactly 5 a.m., the operation goes live. In Amsterdam, Dutch police pull the plug on the servers. Yep, the very same servers where Dmitry had once ordered that pizza. Over in Frankfurt, more blinking machines are seized. Within minutes, Lockbit's dark web portals just go black. You can imagine the panic among his affiliates. But the final move, that was the real masterpiece. See, instead of just shutting down Lockbit's public leak site, the UK's National Crime Agency hijacked it. They literally turned Dmitry's own psychological weapon against him. Those infamous countdown timers, the ones used to scare victims into paying, well, now they were ticking down to reveal Lockbit's own secrets. The hunter had officially become the hunted. The financial blow was catastrophic. With his servers seized and his affiliates in a total panic, Dmitry's empire was losing an estimated $3 million a day. For the very first time, it really looked like the kingpin had been dealt a fatal blow. But here's where the story takes a wild turn. As law enforcement agencies are celebrating their victory, Dmitry is just sitting in his apartment in Voronezh, Russia, watching the whole thing unfold on the news. They could seize his servers, sure, but they couldn't touch him. So he cracked his knuckles and he typed 4 simple words into a secure chat. "Give me 4 days." That was it. While the entire world thought his empire was dead and buried, Dmitry was already putting his backup plan into motion. And he wasn't bluffing. Just 5 days later, a new darknet address started circulating. Lockbit was back. It turns out Operation Kronos had only managed to knock out a piece of his network. Dmitry had backups, and he had cleverly segmented his infrastructure. He spun up fresh servers, decentralized the whole thing, and then defiantly announced the launch of Lockbit 4.0. So since law enforcement couldn't physically grab him, they decided to attack his business, his reputation. They used all that data from the seized servers to expose his lies. They revealed that over half of Lockbit's affiliates never actually got a dime, and that 20% cut he promised, total lie. Turns out Dmitry was secretly keeping around 75% of all the ransom money for himself. This just sowed massive distrust throughout his network. With his business model now under attack, law enforcement went for the final blow. On May 7, 2024, they decided it was finally time to put a name and a face to the ghost in the machine. And for the first time, Dmitry Yuryevich Korozhev was publicly named as the creator and leader of Lockbit. The US, the UK, and the EU all issued sanctions, and the US State Department announced a massive $10 million bounty for information leading to his arrest, which is pretty ironic considering he once arrogantly offered the same amount to anyone who could identify him. But here is the infuriating, frustrating reality of modern geopolitics. Knowing who a guy is and being able to actually do something about it, well, those are two very, very different things. Because back in Russia, Dmitry remains a free man. He's protected by a government that does not extradite its hackers to the West. He's reportedly living openly, tending his garden, completely untouchable on home soil, as long as he doesn't decide to take a vacation to the wrong country. And what does he do with this newfound global infamy? You'd think he'd lay low, right? Nope. Barely a month after being unmasked, he launches his most audacious, most arrogant attack yet. And the target? The U.S. Federal Reserve. It is the ultimate taunt, a dramatic show of force to prove that no bounty, no sanction can slow him down. And that really brings us to where we are right now. He's been unmasked, his photo is plastered on wanted lists all around the globe, his infrastructure took a massive hit, and yet, here he is, still in business, still calling the shots, still dictating terms to the West. It just feels infuriating, almost absurd. And it forces all of us to ask a really bleak question. After all the takedowns, the international task forces, and the $10 million bounties, can anyone really stop the world's deadliest hacker? It's a chilling question that, for now at least, has no answer.